Hey Beth, can you grab the sign-up sheet for me? Okay, we have. Okay, hold on. Right now, okay, okay. Call this meeting to order. And we're gonna, come on, sorry, my machine went to sleep. And we're going to do the roll call. Who's gonna do that?
I can do that.
Okay.
Director Jones.
Here.
Director Dudo.
Here.
Director Frankie.
Yes.
Director Fobb.
Here.
And Director Pedrano.
Here.
Okay, next agenda item is citizens communications. Every person will have 2 minutes to speak. And Zach, are you going to be
Yes,
my
ma'am.
timekeeper?
You got it.
Okay, and the first person we have is Jean.
It's Jennifer Frost.
Jen Frost. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
So it's really good to be here. I am concerned about some things in the community, but I think it's really important to come and build rapport first. You can't just say here are the solutions to problems without making connections. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I also am excited about the election coming up and would like to plan some events in different neighborhoods. And I've already spoken with people, so I thought I should probably come and see everybody face to face. So I'm looking forward to that. And this is the first time I've done anything like this, so I'm not sure if I'm following the proper protocol or not. But I am concerned about some of the candidaats that are running for council. And I was wondering if I could ask what are the what sort of vetting is put in place for people that are running for council?
So, welcome to the meeting first and foremost.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. So during public comments, it's not really an opportunity for directors to have a back and forth dialogue with people in the audience unless there's a specific agenda item to that matter, in which case the board can receive additional comments if they so choose. But there's not really one on the agenda as far as, procedures for vetting candidates is concerned. I can refer you to the Secretary of State's website, and that's about the best we could do.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Appreciate
ma'am.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Matt Whittington, you have 2 minutes.
Now that the Sage Management invoices are in the public domain, thank you, Deborah Dahl, I took it upon myself to review them. Having uncovered plenty of fraud in my own district, I decided to take a look to see if the billing of Sage Management passes the sniff test of someone outside of your own district. The definition of fraud is obtained, done by, or involving deception. Upon review, I will say I have questions. Why is this board approving invoices with the wording of other services or additional deed enforcement services in the amounts of thousands of dollars? Who here knows what other services are? Who here knows what other deed enforcement services are? Who is authorizing these other services as they come up during the month? It is my understanding that committees do not have expenditure authority throughout the month in the amount of thousands of dollars. Also, why is Sage charging $40 per sighting of a pot or dumpster, but not a broke down car, not grass too tall, not trash cans left out? Why is the majority of this board allowing this type of billing to continue? Anyone should be able to review any invoice and know immediately where their money is going. This is taxpayer dollars that we're spending. It has been brought up before by other people outside of this very mud that there appears to be a link between some member or members of this board and Sage Management.
Thank you. Next up is Sarah Teal.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised we are at this meeting tonight since it was not properly noticed according to the open meetings law. But I guess it should not surprise me since abiding by the law has never seemed to be even a passing concern of the majority of this board. Speaking on that topic, I had a chance to review the public information that neighbor Deborah Dahl requested regarding the work and billing of district contractor Sage Management. Without a doubt, this contractor has been breaching their contract month after month. Not a one-time mistake, but a pattern of skimming money from the district. Unfortunately, the Deed Restriction Committee, made up of Beth Jones and Catherine Franke, and the Billing Invoice Committee of Catherine Franke and Megan Judo, have aided and abetted this unprecedented stealing of taxpayer money by allowing them to tack on crazy extra charges above and beyond what is stipulated as appropriate by the district's governing documents. Allowing these things to continue unabated represents an epic failure in the fiduciary responsibility of any board director who votes to allow this farce to continue without scrutiny. There was board consent to rebid this contract 3 months ago, which of course would have been best practice, but that seems to have been pushed to the wayside, and the Sagnesses have been allowed to charge thousands of extra dollars to the district by the Deed Restriction Committee. Charges that I assume have been issued through without question by the Bills and Invoice Committee and will be rubber stamped by a board who will simply push through where they were placed on the consent agenda, a situation which is wholly inappropriate in a proper parliamentary system. It doesn't look to me like a rebid or professional oversight of the situation is even on the horizon. Whoops, we forgot to make sure our contractors were not stealing money from us, they seem likely to say. The whole situation and the level of inappropriateness exercised here, of course, culminates in the fact that Sage Management was a prior client of the current attorney for the district, Zach Evans. At the last meeting, he very clearly conspired with sitting board members to have Director Fobb ejected when she tried to even discuss his prior client's breach of contract publicly. Conflict of interest does not even touch the scheme that video proves he is working to implement.
Next up is Deborah Dahl.
Excuse my allergies. My name is Deborah Dahl. Hopefully some people know that by now. I'm running for one of the positions here at the MUD board. And, you know, I have had some issues in my neighborhood over the 12 years I've been there, and some of us have stood up against it. I never really considered running until I became really well informed of exactly what was going on factually. And neighborhood things went on, some of us stood up, there was retaliation there, but now I'm getting retaliated with my campaign. Businesses being harassed. Please pull her signs down. That didn't go well. My signs are vanishing. I'm going to let law enforcement handle that, and hopefully there are surveillance cameras and different things going on. But what I stand for is I'm not beholden to anybody as a runner except the truth and the people I'm going to represent. Anyone wants to ask me anything? Anyone wants to ask me anything? Anyone wants to know anything about me? My life is an open book. I stand for the truth and the transparency that belongs in this community. I hope we see that. I hope we see more of that. I've talked to over 200 people, and not one person is satisfied with what's going on. And the anecdotes of the types of things I've experienced are punitive, they're unnecessary, and in their opinion of the people I've talked to, and in mine, it's some targeting. I don't know that for a fact, but we will get to the bottom of it. And I hope and I pray everyone in this room looks in the mirror when they go home and decides when they make decisions or what they stand for, that it stands for something outside of themselves. Not selfishness, not self-enrichment, not retaliation, not mudslinging, not removing any of my campaign information or anyone else's for that matter. And because that's going on, and certain signs are being removed and certain aren't, and that becomes glaringly obvious, perhaps it's a quinky-dink. But I don't believe in coincidences when it's a pattern. It's become a pattern from my observation of people that are calling me. I'm getting anonymous phone calls, the people are being harassed. I will turn all that information over to the people who are paid to investigate. That's not my job. My job is going to be to represent the very people in this community that feel underrepresented and overpunished.
Next up is Paul Rabigo.
Thank you, Board, for letting us speak. My name is Paul Rabigo. I've lived in this neighborhood since 1994, and I'm running for the WTCMUD1 director position. I recently earned my MBA focusing on management, and I've owned several small businesses. I've also been involved in property management and commercial real estate over the last few decades, giving me academic knowledge and experience that's helpful to carry out the duties of the board. So I'm focusing on three key ideals here: transparency, integrity, and commitment. Transparency, we're doing a lot for that already, so I'm going to, because I did this for 3 minutes, I'm going to shorten my speech here real quick. I believe that having everything published and accessible to the public is key. It reduces the number of open records requests, which costs us money and time. So let's just get all the records online. That way it'll stop that. I pledged to bring a high level of integrity to this board and have demonstrated that by signing the Code of Fair Campaign Practices. I want to read one paragraph out of that code. It is the intent of the legislature that every candidate and political committee that subscribes to the Code of Fair Campaign Practices will follow the basic principles of decency, honesty, and fair play to encourage healthy competition, open discussion of issues, and candidate qualifications, to discourage practices that cloud the issues or unfairly attack opponents. So my commitment is to always address taxpayer, ratepayers, property owners' concerns, review budgets, review infrastructure, review parks plans, negotiate wholesale water, sewer, and garbage and fire rates, looking for the way to minimize our costs and reduce our waste. I'll also ensure current vendors are fulfilling their contractual obligations and verifying that they are attaining or exceeding the service level agreements. I will always seek community input in activities and changes and improvement decisions. Seek feedback from the community to understand what's essential to each homeowner through ongoing surveys and other means of communications. My slogan on my flyer is building collaboration that creates a productive MUD board, working together to maintain property values, reduce taxes, maintain services, and improve the quality of life. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. And Eric Waits.
My name is Eric Waits. I live here in the MUD, and thank you very much for letting me come and speak with you all tonight. Recently, it came to my attention that we apparently have a huge problem with people leaving their garbage cans out, and it became a really big issue. There's somebody running for MUD board that the community I live in has some real issues with harassment in the back. And so I saw his signs in people's yards that are friends of mine, so I went and I asked. And I found out about the board's going to be fining people $200 for leaving their garbage cans out. Now, I have a couple of neighbors that don't ever put their garbage cans up unless I go put the garbage cans up. And it's been like that for several years, and they've never been fined. So I went on social media and was like, especially when I found a little paper sticker stuck on my next door neighbor's garbage can saying, hey, if you leave this out, you're going to get fined $200, something to that effect. And I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds wonky. So I went on the next door neighbor app where they took me down for me being bullying, and I was not bullying, I was calling out straight up answers. I don't know of anybody who's been fined. Matter of fact, somebody on this board answered me on the next door neighbor app and said nobody's been fined. So what I don't understand is, and do you know what, they put it on the next door neighbor app, so the entire neighborhood has it documented that nobody's been fined yet. So what I want to understand is, from the board later on, is let us know in the community, because now I'm on camera. I could refer this board meeting and not be canceled on the next door neighbor app. I want to know, what was the number of complaints for garbage cans in January and February and March? When did it spike? Why did it become a board issue that the board had to say, hey, look, if you don't put your cans up, there's going to be an escalating fine going on, which we've been doing that in the MUD for the 20 years I've been living here. And now suddenly, it's this big scary beast that they're using to scare people. And from my perspective is it wasn't a problem for the last couple years with my neighbors leaving their garbage cans out that I had to put them up. Why is it suddenly an issue now? So if you guys can answer those two questions, that would be great.
We're good. Okay, so I'm going to close that part of the meeting, and we are going to go to agenda item 4, which is director's fees and reimbursements. If I remember correctly, Mike, I'm the only person who had one?
No, and so quick story, I emailed.
No, we don't have time for a quick story. Why don't we have time for a quick story?
Because
We have three people in office
Okay,
that were for people.
okay, we have 3, okay, and they were myself?
Art and me.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so, number 5,
Need a
consent,
motion to approve.
oh,
Or I guess you can do that on consent.
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
okay. But did you want to make your motion, make your announcement? That's what I was going to
No,
say.
I've told everybody.
Okay,
individually, yeah.
okay. So we're going to be efficient tonight because we have, some people need to catch an airplane. So agenda number 5, the consent agenda. Does somebody want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll go ahead and second that. I'll start with you, Beth. Do you have any comments about the consent agenda?
No.
Megan, do you have any comments about the consent agenda?
No.
I do not have any comments about the consent agenda. Linda, do you have any comments about the consent agenda?
Yeah, there is no minutes and there's no quarterly investment report, so the only thing you would be approving is the bills and invoices.
And Art, do you have any other questions about the consent agenda?
No.
Okay. You want to call the vote, please?
I think we'll just do raise of hands for
Okay,
efficiency's sake.
okay.
Why don't we do it that way?
That's good.
Unless the board wants to go back to counting.
No, I'm good. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
I'm opposed.
Okay. Okay, oh, darn it. I just lost my, there we go. Okay, agenda item 6, review of district financials. You have 3 minutes.
All right, so the financials already were put online, or put in the Google Drive. On page 5, worth noting that for the month, I'm about 55,000 better than projections on revenue. It's all the water revenue. It's that time of year, plus the rate increase coming in. We are driving through that. That puts us at 156,000 above budget for the year. Primarily the water revenue plus property tax revenue coming in higher than we budgeted. The administrative fees for the month are under budget by almost 28,000, but we didn't have the legal invoices in yet. They have come in, but I haven't had a chance to see what that number is. So obviously we'll be a bit closer to budget for the month. For the year, we're almost 77,000 better than budget to pull out this month's legal, and we're a bit lower than that. Primarily, we didn't have the legal litigation fees that we were expecting, and the records requests were at a lower rate than prior year, what we had budgeted off of. So the rate of tempo of those has started to increase again. On page 6, you can see that the maintenance and operations are over almost 45,000 for the month. That is almost 60,000 of that is the bulk water purchases. As you sell more water, you have to buy more water. The net for the district, though, is positive on that. For the year, you're about 9,000 under budget, so reasonably close across all of the items. But the bulk water purchases are 135,000 over. Everything else is more or less offsetting that. Under the system maintenance, it shows for the month that you're about 15,000 better than budget, 91,000 for the year. That 91,000, you're really within just a few $100s of budget. That's the meter replacement program budget, that's the cap budget that we are removing, and that expense was shifted to where it should be in the section under capital projects and outlay. On the parks, overall well under budget. On page 8, the capital projects and outlay, I was talking about 4,000 over budget for the month, 110,000 under budget for the year, and that's including the fact that we moved the meter replacement 57,000 to that, and it was unbudgeted in this area. So actually about 167,000 better than budget. Again, we can take that in. And that's most of the items. It's very typical in this district to budget those items and then not get all of the projects accomplished. The bottom line is that for expenditures, the district's about 280,000 better than budget, and 438 better than budget, bottom line. And then moving on, page 11, you can see that the district's tax collection is about 99.6% better than the under 99% last year.
Okay. Okay, agenda item 7, old business. We don't have anything listed, so let's go on to new business. 8A, draft of the budget for the fiscal year. Okay, so.
Did you skip over 6A, Zach?
Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
sure did.
I did. We need to, 6A, we need to have a resolution changing signatories, and this is because of,
I'll let Infomark explain.
okay.
Like basically our system, we've just found that there were old signatories still in there and none of the new ones have been updated. And so we're updating who the signatories are to be, it's Priscilla.
Yeah, and this is on the manager's accounts, and so the Infomark, the district will be having Infomark designate its employees that are the signatories on that. And with the changeover that Infomark has had, it's time to take some people off and add new people.
Okay, so we have a resolution in front of us. Does somebody want to move, want to make the motion to make that change?
Okay, I motion we make the change on the resolution for the Board of Directors, Wilson County Municipal District, designating a new bank signatory, providing findings of facts, providing the repeal and the conflicting provisions, and providing for open meeting.
Is that the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go ahead and second that. Beth, do you have any comments or about this resolution?
I do not.
Megan, how about you?
No.
My only question is when you have employee changeover, that takes place immediately, correct? That you take signatories off?
We have a list of signatories that are allowed to sign, so we've always had somebody able to that's still been here, but it's just time to update the list.
Right, but when that person leaves, it comes off the,
Yes,
you're,
correct.
yeah, okay.
They can't sign anymore.
Yeah, okay, that was my.
And I do, related to that question, one of the elements here, one of the controls is that the signatories that you have are not people that are involved in generating the checks on your district. So, and that's an important control. So the people that are the signers that are reviewing this are not people that are involved in processing the checks on the district.
Okay. Linda, do you have any comments or questions?
I do, I have comments. The manager's account is used to pay for expenses outside of a public meeting, such as resident deposit refunds, biweekly payroll for the constables and the roving security company. Michael, is there any other payments coming out of the manager's account?
Only one directed by the board,
Okay.
or emergency, because that's the other thing it's set up.
Or if we're gonna get a late fee for something from TCEQ, now
Right.
that y'all given us the go-ahead, just one-offs for that.
Perfect. Do you have more than one manager's account?
No, just one.
Just one. Who is the district's general manager that's authorized on this resolution to sign?
It will be Priscilla, I believe.
Lenson.
And Linda.
She's going to be the general manager of this district?
No, she will be the primary signatory, Stephen Bloom will be secondary, and I will be a backup.
Okay, on the resolution, it lists the general manager will have signature authority.
I will.
But I need to know who that is. All other names are listed. You're listed as account manager.
The point of doing it that way is because there could be changeover.
So it could be anybody who takes that job?
If the person in that position changes, then we'll update the signature cards with that person. But that's what you're authorizing, is that the recognition that Infomark is going to have change. And so you don't want to keep changing the resolution every time a person changes. It's the position. And again, it's a position that does not prepare a check.
I think the reason that I asked that question is because there are names in every other title of signature authorities, including yours, Mackenzie, as the account manager, but district manager is just left wide open, no name. And if we don't have a district manager, then we need to remove that and just leave the account manager, that's fine. But to leave it blank with no name, that's nobody we can hold responsible.
That's actually not accurate, Ms. Fobb. It lists in section 2, the district's general manager being Infomark as signatories on the district's manager's accounts. Lists Melissa Roberts as
Her title?
administrative services manager, Stephen Bloom, financial director, Mackenzie Scales, account manager.
Right.
So it very much does list names.
So Infomark is our
one-
entire general manager?
Yes,
Infomark?
that's correct. The same with Janice Lockridge is your general counsel.
Oh.
The one caveat I'd like to make to this, I know Infomark was having to move fast on these, and to that end, we didn't list the names of the individual directors. So, subject to the board approval, I'd like to revise section 4 so that the directors' names that are currently listed or currently elected are spelled out. That should save any kind of problems whenever a director might need to go to the bank or whatever, and proving up that they're still an elected official. So whenever y'all have turnover in November after the election, you'll need to do another one of these with the new directors' names, but all that information from Infomark will still be there. So that's my recommendation, should the board choose to adopt this.
Okay.
I think Art was up next.
Art, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, so do we need to make any adjustments to the resolution because we're gonna add our names?
Yeah, I think the motion would be just to approve the resolution, as Mr. Madrano indicated, subject to revision by adding the first and last names of the directors.
Okay, are you okay with that?
I am okay with
Okay,
it.
and I'll make that second also. Okay, so let's have an efficient vote here. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Opposed?
Okay. Okay, so, jump to 8A, draft budget. So, I've seen an awful lot of budgets. I'm ready for this project to be over.
All right, so let me lead off with, just wanted to let everyone know that September 30th will be my last day with Infomark. So
Okay.
this is pretty much the last budget I'll be preparing this month, and so that will be.
Where are you going?
But I do want to point out that, we were talking before, Infomark is a big team. There's been a team behind me the whole time for the last several years. A lot of those names were on that resolution. Priscilla Lenzen, we have an accountant in Houston, Michelle Gore. They're hiring a new one here in Austin that will be training hopefully this week. And behind that, there's the accounting team, Megan Jones, Corey, and payroll, and Paula overall, the payroll and accounting team. So you're already in good hands with people who understand your district. So just wanted to lead with that. In terms of the budget, we worked through a lot of drafts on this. The budget committee and our team trying to get the best data and make the best projections for this year and the best projections for the next year so that we could set a budget that made sense. The key elements of the budget.
Hey, Mike, can I stop you real quick? We're on the color-coded,
Oh, yes, and that's an internal piece. I was color coding as I moved through drafts of what numbers change. And so the red ones, the lighter red were the draft 2, the dark red were draft 3, the purple were draft 4, the blue are draft 5. So some of that you can't see
Michael,
when it
I
prints.
called my document color-coded.
He's on this.
Oh, you're talking his color-coded one?
The one that I did.
Oh.
I think that's what he's referring
that's
to.
what I,
Isn't
hold
that-
on, I'm not on the
Because I
right
put that on the.
That one, that last one. That's the one Michael's going to talk about.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
I'm
So
with you.
that's my color coding.
I
To
see
keep track
it.
of the changes. In terms of the other one, that's an attempt to put the draft, take it out of dry accountant speak and put it into something that is more sensible to, real people.
Isn't it here?
So if that was the draft you were looking at. The key elements are that we are projecting property tax collections to increase in this budget
Right here.
primarily due to the increase in AV. And that will be lowering the tax rate commensurately. And then in terms of expenses, we were trying to right-size the budgets on the items that tend to be overages so that we would not be come up short on those, and work through every budget to try to make them as reasonable to fit the actuals this year and the expected changes that we expected to see last year. The bottom line of that is that the budget is in deficit by $116,951, but that's primarily because of one project.
The station?
Sorry. Yes, the Hatch Lift Station rehab project.
Is it safe to assume the board wants to allot another 3 minutes?
Yes,
Done.
yes.
Which we're budgeting for $300,000 based on the engineer's estimate of what will be done in the next year. And so without that $300,000 project to rework the lift station that has been problematic for the last few years and has cost us significant cost overruns, the budget would be in deficit by about $183,000. And we do want it to be in a budget surplus position, if we could be, because the district, as it's aging, wants to move up to a 12-month reserve. It was at a 6-month reserve. We're above the 6-month reserve. We're getting close to about a 9-month reserve, but we want to build to that 12-month reserve. So a budget deficit doesn't get us there, but We're actually closer than we expected to be at this time last year, because last year we budgeted a deficit of 146,000, and I'm projecting a surplus this year of 260,000. So about 400,000 better in that fiscal year than we expected. So with this 116 negative, we're still 284 ahead across the 2 years. So that, and then the page 7, just quickly, the debt service schedule. We haven't tended to include that, but going forward, that'll be the case. So we budget. This will be the last year you'll actually see it, though, because you'll be paying off your debt, so this fund will go away. But this shows what you'll be paying on your bonds in the final year there. So I'll touch on that. So that's what I have quickly to present.
Thank you, Michael, for
Okay.
everything that you've done.
Okay. So, Megan, do you want to make a motion to approve the budget?
Motion to approve the general operating fund budget version 5 as presented.
Okay, do we need to do, should she mention the tax rates that are?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
And that'll be part of the
That's
next
gonna
thing
be the
anyway. But
next-
this,
yeah.
the
Okay.
tax rate's very important. Sorry that I skipped over that. On page 6, quickly walking through the debt service, to the tax rates. Last year, your debt service tax rate was 0.275. Your financial advisor, Chris Lane, knowing that the bonds are about to be paid off, suggests lowering that to 0.078. Your overall tax rate was 32.91 last year. Based on the assessed valuations that on your homestead owners, the maximum tax rate that you would be able to assess without incurring the automatic election, so under a 3.5% increase to the average homeowner on his tax bill, the total tax rate is 30.18. So subtract out the 78 cents from that, and that gets you the 29.40 on the M&O tax rate. Again, total tax rate of 30.18, down from 32.91.
okay. Okay, I'll go ahead and second the motion. Beth, do you have any questions? Okay, and Megan, I'm going to ask you to actually talk in more detail about the highlights of what we've got put into this budget besides the major project this year is going, next budget year is going to be the hatch lift station.
Good. I was about to say, aren't we going to discuss? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a $300,000 project that only comes up, every so often. So we basically were trying to get as close to a balanced budget, despite the fact that we had this big, huge ticket item that we had to, work in this year as we could. So we went over it again and again and again and tried to get rid of, there was a fair amount of padding built into a lot of the items, and so we tried to get them as close to what we thought was actually realistic for next year as we could, to try to get a much more realistic sense of what the deficit or surplus was going to be. And given that $300,000 project, it was really hard to get a completely perfectly balanced budget. But again, because we had such a big surplus this year, we're still actually, for the 2-year period, adding to our reserves, despite the fact that we have this big, huge project that we have to do. So, and that is the type of project that we would pull typically from our reserves to do.
Right.
So, the projects that we have in here that are kind of discretionary are, we have the park projects. The ones that are listed in here are everything that was in the park plan. So we basically just went through what the park plan said for this year, and that's what we put in budget-wise. We had a couple projects left over from this year that were never done that we carried over into next year. We have, Michael, help me if I'm missing any of the big ones that we added. for this coming year? Or Mackenzie, you can help too.
Well, one good thing to note is we've taken 50,000 off of your meter change outs. So we brought that budget down to 50,000. And we've left the 25,000 change out line item in there for when your endpoints come in at the end of this month to have those installed next year. We've accounted for roving patrols in the budget.
And I would note that your prior budget had the cap. All of those elements are being pulled out and replaced by non-cap items. So that's another cleanup piece of this. And that's why you see a lot of these budgets that had a budget last year and are zero this year. It's because they're cap budgets. So.
We're budgeting for an inlet survey this year. It was carried into your budget as a recommended item for it to be done in fiscal year 2022-2023.
Can I ask a question? Under O&M, are we using a COLA index or something like I noticed trash service and what is it, trash service and then the night watchman lights, I guess those budgets went up. Right?
Yeah, the night watchman lights are your street lights, and that kind of electricity budget increases every year.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I tried to build in the proper inflator for that.
And then the Sunchase, under physical environment, we have the Sunchase Playscape. Remind me what that is, the 50,000.
So Megan and the Parks Committee have been working on what we're going to replace the old plastic equipment with. It's been taken away for some time now. The pea gravel was just recently removed and chipped wood has been installed now, so now it's just ready for something new to go back in. And correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, but they got a lot of feedback in the park plan of people wanting something back in that park. So that is the budget.
Yeah, that's
item for
been
that.
empty for a while, right? Let's see. There was another one. There was a. Yeah. Someone that stood out. And then the 300,000 for the. That's unavoidable. We're going to have to do that one.
Yeah. Okay, so can I, are you done, Art, so I can give Linda the floor?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, Linda, you have 3 minutes.
For the folks interested, here's a breakdown of the budget in easier to understand language. The good news is the property values in the district have increased, generating an additional $566,285 or $500,000 plus in revenue. The largest expense by far is the operation and maintenance of the district at over $3.5 million. That includes services from Infomark, Sage, security, landscaping, purchasing water, returning wastewater, fire protection, street lights, irrigation utilities, trash services, and the like. Tennis courts and trail maintenance is included in that number. The administrative expenses of running the district is a little over $500,000 at $515,179. That includes director fees, payroll taxes, legal fees, engineering, financial, auditing, permits, conferences, memberships, and other fees and expenses. The budget only has $349 for maintenance of the entire 40-plus-year-old infrastructure for the water system, the stormwater system, and the sewer systems. And another separate infrastructure project that they've talked about is the rehab of just the electronics on the Hatch lift station for $300,000. That's $649,000 total for the infrastructure. Another big expense is $482,250 for improvements, maintenance, and operations expenses for parks and ponds. Rounding out the cost to operate this district at $5.2 million in the proposed budget. On the tax rate, since you've included that in the budget, can you tell me, Michael, are you proposing, or is the financial advisor proposing the max rate, the parity rate, or the maintenance and operations rate?
Okay, each one of those would need to be explained, but the rate that is being proposed of 3818 is a rate that is under the 3.5% bar in terms. And so if it were more than 3.5%, it would trigger the automatic election.
Understood. And when you work on the budget, you say, this is what it would cost me to continue operations just the way they were. This is what it would cost me in tax rate. if I was going to increase services, and this is parity. This is just keeping the lights on the way they were. So, I found this in the ranch at Cypress Creek budget. It's literally defined in 3 separate terms. So I'm asking this 0318, is that parity? Is that maintenance and operations, or is that an improved budget for additional spending?
Again, you need to define those terms very carefully. And so.
I know it doesn't require a vote.
Right.
I know that.
But if you're asking,
Does the board wish to give another 3 minutes to Ms. Fobb?
Now I'm ready to move on.
I need 2 others to agree or not agree. Anybody?
Yeah, I agree. Move on.
Is there a third?
Do I have a third? We're ready to move on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so everybody's had their 3 minutes, so to speak. So we've got a second. Can we just do an easy vote?
Yes, I will ask you to do a roll call vote
Okay.
on the next one, though.
Okay, on the next one.
Actually,
Okay.
let's just go ahead and do it for the budget, too.
Okay.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Dudo?
Yes.
Ms. Frankie?
Yes.
Ms. Fobb?
I'm going to abstain for legal reasons.
What is your legal reason, ma'am?
It's Chapter 49.106 of the Water Code that specifically audited financial statements, bond transcripts, and engineers' reports have not been presented to the board tonight
Just as
in
a
the
remi-
meeting packet, which is essential in order to see what has changed.
Just as a reminder, the rules that the board adopted require you to vote yes or no unless you have a legal conflict of interest.
I do.
That is not a legal conflict of interest.
It is,
for
I
you.
don't have the information to
Madam,
vote.
that is not a legal conflict of interest for you personally. That is not. So your vote is no if you're abstaining. Is that your final answer?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, so that's a no vote. Mr. Madrano?
Yes.
Ayes have it, Madam President, 4-1.
Okay, so next we need to take up a resolution on the tax
So
rate.
first, you'll need to open your public hearing at
Okay,
a time
that-
certain. That would be 6:41 if you do that right now.
Okay, let's open our public meeting. Okay.
And you just take public comment like you would citizen comments at the beginning, except for this needs to be specific to the tax rate.
Okay, so anybody who's here who wants to talk about the tax rate, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
She asked us, do you have to live in the district?
No, not necessarily. There's
Okay.
nothing that speaks to that.
Okay. Okay, since we don't have a second sign-up sheet specifically for the second public hearing, if you want to make a public comment about the tax, about the budget, I invite you to come up to the podium. And you'll have 2 minutes, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I did not anticipate that I would have the opportunity to speak during this period, so I haven't prepared anything. I do want to say that I think it is truly troublesome that the questions about whether the parity of the tax rate are not going to be answered or explored in a public meeting. The fact that there is a board member that wants to scrutinize the tax rate and the other members of this board have chosen by majority to shut that down, I think that's something truly worrisome that the people in the community really need to look at, not only the people on this board and the way that they conduct business, but in the upcoming election, who they support, because those people probably support the same kind of majority rules, not what's best for the district, what's best for me. And so I hope people really pay attention tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to make a public comment?
I'm not well-versed in taxes, but at 61, I think I'm well-versed in behaviors. Hopefully mine is substantially good enough. When you all disseminate and allow some people to have extra time, and then it becomes very apparent to live stream to anyone here or anyone who will then hopefully watch what goes on, I implore you to play fair. There's a groundswell of people that are absolutely mortified at some of the obvious stuff. So if some person is allowed an extra 3 minutes and the clarity of where our money
Estelle,
goes.
You need to redirect your comments to the tax rate, that's specific
Okay.
to the tax rate.
The tax rate needs to be scrutinized, and the person who was willing to do that was not given the appropriate time. And so I hope that it's posted somewhere. I'd like to know where that is so that we can, as it is our money and it is our district, that we can scrutinize it. Thank you.
Okay, last time, does anybody else want to make a comment about the tax rate? Okay, at this point, I'll shut down the
644.
the public hearing on the proposed tax rate. Okay, agenda item 8C, adopting the order levying taxes. So we have a resolution on that one.
Yes, ma'am. The order itself is in your board packet under McGinnis documents, and I believe, let me find the page number for y'all. Signatories, budget, tax rate, we're getting there. I bet y'all are already on it.
Is it in the board packet?
Yes, sir. It's under the McGinnis Lockridge tab there.
There it is.
And it's way down on page. Good, great. Thank you. Page 25. Yeah, that's correct. 25
Okay.
to get us packet. The resolution just lays out the district's statutory authority to. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have side comments, I need you to step outside. The resolution adopting the tax rate lays out the district's authority to levy an ad valorem tax, explains that it's for operation and maintenance purposes. It breaks down the components of the tax rate, which are the debt service tax rate of 0.0078 on each $100, the M&O tax rate of 0.2940 of each 100 for a grand total of 0.3018, as Mr. Luff stated earlier. I'm going strictly off of his math and his confidence as well as Chris Lane's on those numbers. And you're just looking for a vote to adopt. And again, that does need to be a voice vote by
Right,
each.
okay.
Yeah, each.
Okay, can somebody make a motion to approve the tax rate?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Is that enough?
That's enough for a motion. We'll need a second.
I'll second it. Okay, I'll let the.
I can read the paragraph if you want.
No, okay, that's enough. Okay, so, okay, we have a second. Beth, do you have any comments?
I'm excited that we're keeping it lower than everybody else.
Okay, okay. Megan, do you have any comments?
My only comments would be that if anyone who's interested in understanding what is in the budget, breakdown of the budget, the tax rate, we did actually, Information Management put out a document, it's on the district's website, we put it out after the August board meeting that breaks down how the district does its budgeting every year, what goes into setting the tax rate, what goes into our budget, what things we fund, and then it includes the draft that was presented, the draft budget that was presented at the August meeting, color-coded, broken down by different types of expenditures, so you can see exactly what we're spending money on and how that breaks down in terms of percentages. And then we also redid the budget that we're discussing tonight in the same manner so that it's much more understandable for people who aren't accountants. And that is included in the materials for the meeting, board meeting tonight. So if you go to the board meetings page of the website, there's the attachments for the meeting tonight, and it's the Understanding Our Budget document. And it, again, same document talking about how our budget works, and then it has the draft of the budget that we approved this evening. So that information is out there if you're curious, because it is overwhelming to understand. It's a lot of terms. Please check that out, and if you have questions, you can reach out to the district.
Okay. Very good overview, Megan. I'm not going to add any more to that. Linda, what do you have to say?
This is on a motion to approve the tax rate?
Yes.
I don't have enough information to approve the tax rate because not all the information has been presented.
Okay. Art, do you have anything else you want to comment on?
No, I think we disclosed full transparency. I think it was out there. I was able to read it. I can read it. Anybody can. So I understood it. I'm good.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the vote.
All right. Mr. Medrano.
Yes.
Ms. Fopp.
No.
Ms. Frankie,
Yes.
Ms. Tudo,
Yes.
and Ms. Ms. Beth, Ms. Jones.
Yes.
The ayes have it 4-1, Madam President.
Okay, D, amend district information form.
Yes, ma'am. This is somewhat of a formality, but we do ask for board approval on it. Every time you update your tax levy, we're required to update that information in the district information form. It's a provision out of Chapter 49 of the Water Code, and this has to be filed on record with the county property records, both counties. We do this as a service for our clients, but like I said, we ask for a motion and direction to do that.
Okay. Can somebody make a motion? You put a motion in the packet, right?
There's an agenda item for it.
Okay, that's it.
There's no resolution needed,
Okay.
but the district information form is the one I was circulating.
Okay, well then, I move that we update the district information form. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Beth, do you have any comments?
No.
Megan? I don't have any comments. Linda, do you have any comments?
Where is that form?
It's the one you were looking at the beginning of the meeting.
Could you show it to me, please?
It's the one you signed before the meeting.
I thought that was the tax rate.
No, ma'am, I instructed you it was the district information form.
Where is that sitting right now? Do you have it?
Yes, it's the
Can I see
document
it,
you
please?
just looked at and signed.
Thank you. I'll just look at it real quick.
Okay, Art, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay.
It is the tax rate.
It is also the district information form, which has the tax rate within it.
Okay. Okay, so, should we call the vote?
Yes, ma'am. Why don't you just do a raising of hands since we don't have
Okay.
a record vote on this.
Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Repeat the motion, please.
I move that we adopt the district information form.
Do we get a second?
Amended district.
And, yeah, and we had a second?
Ms. Frankie made the motion, Ms. Jones made the second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, so,
4-1, ayes have it. Madam
okay, so 8E, the communications policy. This was a agenda item put forth by Ms. Fobb, and if I'm understanding, you're going to ask a question about the policy.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I don't have a question about the policy. I understand the policy quite well.
Okay.
That was my agenda item, and I was looking for all of the records, the policy violations specifically, and was told the records are not readily available and would result in a substantial expense to the district in order for the record custodian, who is now McGinnis Lockridge, to produce them. The district taxpayers should not bear the cost of record keeping, so I'm going to give Bill Flickinger an opportunity to produce these records in an orderly fashion. And if I'm not successful, I will file a grievance with the State Bar of Texas against our previous attorney for incurring substantial expense to the district for failing to maintain the public records in a manner that does not generate a substantial expense to release the records. I'm fairly certain there is something in the lawyer's professional code of conduct that dictates the manner, control, and release of a client's records. And the reason I put this on the agenda item, or the agenda 2 months ago, was because the policy requires 72 hours after submission of a complaint for something to happen. And I know I personally have submitted well over 10 complaints and have never had anything returned back. So the policy is not working. It's not working the same for everyone. And that's why it was an agenda item. But without the information provided, all the complaints that have been filed since that policy was adopted, I can't do anything with this item yet.
Okay. Okay, 8F, rental agreement with the ranch at Cypress Creek Municipal Utility District.
We wanted to bring this one up because this is the only rental that the board has ever voted on. And with the new park rules that were approved last month, it would bring their rate up substantially. And so we have discussed amongst the Parks Committee as well as with Mr. Evans about how to go about doing this to where we don't quite bring them up to the same rate and more or less doing a grandfathered rate and asking them to just put a deposit on file and their rate would be a certain amount every time they did a rental.
Okay, what would their rate go to under the
I
new?
think we had discussed anywhere between $50 to $75 per rental for their meetings. They would put a deposit on file that they would get back when they decided to no longer use your facilities for their monthly meetings.
That wasn't my question. My question was, under the new,
What's the current rate?
yeah,
I
what's
think
the,
they pay like $5, which is the nonprofit rate.
right, which is not appropriate. But under the new park rules that were adopted a couple of meetings ago, what is the rule?
100.
What is it?
It would be 200
Okay,
because they are technically not a nonprofit.
They do have nonprofit status, whether or not
I think
they're not a
it is still
501c3.
200 though for non-resident nonprofits.
Well,
Non-resident.
now non-resident nonprofits can't use the building anymore.
But this is a weekday. I thought
They can't, I think they can't use it at
Okay,
all.
I thought it was.
Because all of the nonprofits we were getting requests from were people who didn't even live anywhere near the district. So,
So technically, it would put them out, but since they have been using it since January, I believe we wanted to bring this back to the board for discussion.
okay, so you might know this, Zach, it's like, why doesn't the ranches at Cypress Creek have a community center? They don't?
I can't speak to that.
Oh, so they literally-
That is BZ, as my mom would say, before Zach.
Okay.
I don't have any idea.
So they don't have a facility at all in their,
I mean, all I can say is that they've met in different places, and they've obviously been here the last several months. So
Okay.
all I can speak to that.
okay, so do we have a recommendation? My recommendation is to tell them to go someplace else.
It's up to the Parks Committee's recommendation.
I agree. We either do that or we have to come up with a rate that we think is reasonable so that our taxpayers aren't paying for another district to use our building.
Well,
Why can't they look for someplace else?
why can't, well, they're technically in the city of Cedar Park, so there should be facilities in the city of Cedar Park that you would think would be available to them.
I mean, we rented it to them, what, 4 or 5 months now?
Yeah.
Board wish to
If
continue
it's in
deliberating.
conflict with our rules,
No, okay, so the issue becomes, as I'm understanding the issue, is either we come up with a rate or we tell them to find another facility. And I'll make a motion to give them, one more month and tell them to get another facility. Okay. So I move that the Ranch of Cypress Creek be allowed to meet, what is it? Zach, have they met this month yet?
Let me look at yes, ma'am, I think they just met last week.
Okay, so that
This
they
week,
can
excuse
meet
me.
in October and with the expectation that they will be meeting in November at a different facility.
Okay, motion by Ms. Frankie.
Okay, can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Okay, so Art, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, Linda, do you have any questions or comments?
I do, I guess I don't understand the policy then for leasing out spaces, and it is space that's owned by the public that is concerning to me. Because when we do like the craft fairs, 90% of those vendors don't live in the district, and they get to rent at a very, very reduced rate the entire park. So that just doesn't seem fair to me. And to answer your question, the ranch at Cypress Creek doesn't have any facilities or parks or things like that. They don't. They're just a
Okay.
property thing. And they are trying, actually, to rent space at ACC. They're just not open yet for taking rentals of their office spaces. So I think that since they use this building in the middle of the week when nobody else is using it, it just doesn't seem right to me that you would put them on the curb because you don't want the taxpayer paying for the use of a building that's sitting idle. That just seems punitive to me. And I think we need to be better people than that and allow them to use this space until ACC opens back up, or the church at the entrance of El Salito. That was another spot they used to rent. Again, not available to them at the moment, mostly because of COVID reasons. And so there is no other place for them to rent. But they can step into a park, they can go into the Milburn Park and sit outside to do their meetings, I suppose. Because a public meeting can happen anywhere.
Okay, I don't have any other comments. Okay.
Who made the second on that one?
It was Ms. Jones.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Megan, I can't direct, I forgot which direction I started.
Let's just see if there's any more comments.
Any more comments?
I just want to clarify something. So right now, people who do have a nonprofit status can use, they can use our facility at a discount rate, right?
No, only if they're a resident.
Only if they're a resident. Okay, so the way these people are classified, they're non-resident.
They're technically a nonprofit, but they are non-resident.
Are we following the rules?
Yep, we're following the rules.
Okay.
Ooh, there we go.
And it's not just them affected, I mean, there's other people who are affected as well.
Right. Okay, so should we have an easy vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those in favor say nah.
Opposed?
Opposed. Okay. Okay. I want to take 8G into executive session, so I'm going to put that at the end because we want to move this as fast, because we want to make sure that we have our hard
I
stop.
just want to caution the board, just as a reminder, so that particular agenda item would only qualify for executive session to the extent that the board has questions or comments for me as the district's legal advisor. So that means we don't get there and talk about policy, we don't talk about allegations back and forth, there's not going to be any of that. So you'll have to have questions and answers directed to and from me, just a reminder.
Okay, that's fine. We're going to go to agenda item 9. Herb, you got 3 minutes.
All right, I think I can do that. The first item was just to let everybody know that the DG trail maintenance at the Hatch and Northern Lane Pond has begun. So by the next board meeting, we should be complete in processing out the invoices for that. The next item was, a couple months ago, we got a concerned call about 2609 McCall sidewalk that's being raised due to tree growth. I met with the resident. We've also got a couple of other places in McCall as well as throughout the district where we've got tree issues of which we've held off doing anything with those under the sidewalk program until we got something that we felt like was sufficient to justify getting an arborist out. This place is, the only concern that I, as well as the infrastructure have, is this McCall is in Travis County, and we have not, the district has not been doing sidewalk repairs or maintenance within Travis County, only Williamson County. Part of that was because Travis County said they were doing it. It's quite obvious they haven't. So the question tonight from our meeting was, did the board want to consider doing any sidewalk maintenance within Travis County?
Do we have a sidewalk agreement with them?
With Travis County or what?
Both, actually.
Travis County does their own.
I don't know that we've got a license agreement with Travis County. I know we did with Williamson County, which is part of the reason we were able to go ahead and move forward with that.
Do you have that agreement, or Mackenzie, do you have it?
Have it on with me now.
Do you have it?
The attorneys have that.
It should be.
Can you get me the sidewalk agreement for Williamson County? Is that?
Absolutely.
I don't think there is a sidewalk agreement with Williamson County. What there is Williamson County says, we're not fixing sidewalks at all.
That was our initiative. That was part of
Yeah,
our
yeah.
infrastructure.
And Travis County says, yes, we will repair sidewalks. We just haven't been figuring out how to get them to do it. You know, they say, yes, we'll do it, but, you know, there's a long line, I guess is the best way to put it. So, keep going, Herb.
Well, that's really the question, is just, does the board want to address these unsafe conditions with the sidewalks, specifically at the tree locations in Travis County? That's the question.
I just advise the board, one, give me an opportunity to review the license agreement, assuming one exists with Travis. If we don't have one, that presents a problem for us. So we need to do a little bit of homework there, I think, before the board commits to that.
Okay, that's fine.
Would we need to have one for Williamson County as well, or do we have a problem with that?
Yeah, and in theory, there definitely should be some kind of at least acknowledgement, if not a formal license agreement. That's how I typically see it done. There may have been some other instruments prior to my time that got exchanged. That's just going to require some research, though.
So can we move this to the next meeting?
Absolutely.
Can I
That's
ask her the
y'all's-
question
that's up to
first,
y'all.
while he's here?
Sure.
Did the tree roots damage the sidewalk, or did the sidewalk damage the tree?
In this particular instance, it's the tree roots lifting the sidewalk.
So it didn't damage the tree?
I'm not a tree, I'm not.
I thought you hired an arborist.
We had an arborist come by, and he looked at the conditions as they were and said, look, to really give you an assessment, I need the sidewalks removed over the tree, to see, not just the assessment, but how do you fix it back? And so that's what we did, he just said, okay. I said, well, I'll go to the board and find out.
Yeah.
So he really didn't, he just knew that
He didn't send you a bill either.
Okay, good. You know that's where I was headed, right? You know I was headed there.
I'll just get there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Okay, keep going.
So that's really it. I mean, if we want to table this until next month, we can absolutely do that.
I think we should.
My recollection, the board did, with the latest license agreement with Williamson County, the driving force behind that was providing the ability to address sidewalks, DG trails, landscape lights, all that kind of stuff. So you'll find, you should be able to find that.
We'll put eyes on it.
Okay.
So unless you've got any other questions.
No.
Catherine, can I just ask him? a
Sure.
question? Thank you. Do you have any sense for, because we didn't budget for that, would we even have budget for this year to do some of that maintenance if we've already sort of budgeted in our mind for what we need to do for Wilco side?
Yes, how the district's handled that in the past is, this year's budget for sidewalk repairs, I don't even believe it was all the way spent.
No, it
So there's
wasn't.
money left over in that, but it's not, the sidewalk maintenance is not specific to certain locations. So there is flexibility that the board has, if we want to go repair something over here, and we've got the funds within that budget,
Yep.
that's how we address it.
Okay, so we just prioritize and.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 10B, status of repairs is Vestavia Ridge.
So in my report, so I think we addressed that last month, we can take that off the agenda. Those repairs have been completed
Okay.
for over a month now. Within the manager's report, we have 2 items for approval this month. One of those is the removal of a tree in Madeline Loop Pond. Sunscapes brought in their arborist to take a look at it, and both of the parties agree that it needs to be removed. It's against a resident's fence. It's dropping limbs in their backyard, and a very large portion of the tree is dead, and it's definitely leaning in their direction, so as a safety hazard, they went ahead and gave us a proposal for removing that, and that is $3,037.50. That would come from them taking it down and then grinding the stone.
Okay.
But it's along the fence line of Madeline Pond up against one of the residences.
Okay, so we need a motion. Motion to approve the.
Sunscape's proposal for removing.
Yeah,
tree
Sunscape's
Madeline Pond
proposal to remove the tree along in Madeline Loop Pond.
For $3,037.
Yeah, he'll get that. Can I have a second,
Actually,
please?
what was that dollar amount?
$3,037.50.
Got it.
Okay, can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, Beth, do you have any discussion?
No.
Megan, do you have any discussion?
No.
I don't have any discussion. Linda, do you have any discussion?
Do you have a photo of the tree?
I do.
Who planted the tree?
The district, I believe.
We planted it too close to the fence line and now it's encroaching on their property? I don't need anything more, thank you.
Okay, Art?
It's literally hugging the fence and like over it.
So it was planted too close to the
And
fence?
there has been a request from the homeowner.
The homeowner did reach out and they sent in some pictures. We obviously sent out Sunscapes and the arborist as well.
Okay. No, I do not have any concerns.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay.
Next up is the Parks Committee wanted to ask the board for approval to host a Movies in the Park event sometime between October and November. We don't have a specific date just yet. We're waiting on the equipment you guys approved last month for purchase as far as the movie equipment. Once that comes in, I think they'll put a date on it. So we've done these as board approvals in the past, so they wanted to do it as a board approval.
Okay, so make a
Do
motion.
we need an estimate of some sort?
It won't cost you anything. They're going to use the equipment, and that's it. There will be no
It's an
additional-
event.
No additional district funds.
Yeah, a district-sponsored event. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how come we don't have a big, you know how, what is that park that Liz,
Liz Milburn.
Elizabeth Milburn?
yeah, they have that big, school. Why don't we put one of those
Talked
here?
about that.
We went with the, last month we went with the
Oh, that's right,
portable.
the inflatable.
Yeah, okay, so would you make a motion, please?
Motion to allow the Parks Committee to host a Movies in the Park event sometime this fall, October,
Okay.
November.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, and Art, do you have any comments?
I do not.
Okay, Linda, do you have any comments?
I do. I want to know if that event is open to non-district residents.
If it's in a public forum, it's absolutely open to anybody.
It's a public park.
Yeah. Okay, any more questions?
So the building's not public, but the park is?
The park's not rentable. The building is rentable,
I
the
see.
pavilion is rentable, but if you did anything in the grass, none
Oh,
of that is
perfect. So
rentable.
anybody can use that for any reason.
It's not
Awesome.
rentable, is all I
Within
can
the
say.
park rules, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
my only comment was to say, why don't we make this part of light up the park night, you know, in December or
I
November?
think they were trying to do some sort of like spooky Halloween one first.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
second
okay,
one.
that was all I was gonna say. You guys have got a plan in sight.
I mean, the idea would be to do them frequently, so.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Is that plan published somewhere that we could see? What the plan is for movie nights and
We don't have.
spooky nights and light up the
There
park
is no
nights?
like, there's no plan, they just, the Parks Committee is requesting to use the equipment.
Oh, I thought you said they had a plan.
No, the Parks Committee is having a plan of when to do
That's
it
what
and
I
what
said.
movie to select.
That's
It's
what I
not
said.
written down.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
The
like
idea.
theoretical.
yeah,
Not, the idea is to do them frequently.
yeah. Okay, Beth, do you have any more questions?
I do not.
Okay, so,
Ms. Dudo made the motion and the second was?
Beth.
Okay, thank you.
okay. So, all those in favor say aye? Aye. All those opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Okay, do you have anything
I don't
else?
have anything else for approval, unless you guys have any questions.
No?
You know I'm gonna ask.
Oh, yeah, at water accountability, it did drop this month, but I do account that to your meter change outs. They have to flush the lines. It didn't go back down to quite as low with 86, but that accounts for the two the two commercial meter change outs were within that range.
So for August we're at 86, the month before we were at 94.
Yeah.
Okay. But was there any, what did we find out? I mean, what was the
The
cost?
meters were not reading correctly on, one of them was on both high flow and low flow, one of them was just low flow. So that means it's not calculating the water that's actually running through
That
it.
it's like we suspected, it wasn't a water loss, it was
No, well,
calibration.
correct, the calibration issues were identified with all of the meters.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so, you're done, okay.
Wait, she
Yeah.
didn't do 10C.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's
no,
what
I was
I,
just done with my executive summary.
yeah,
10C is something I asked Zach to put on the agenda, given the most recent water restrictions imposed by the city of Cedar Park for the intake line repair that they're trying to make on the Brushy Creek line. It came to mind that the district does not have any sort of drought contingency, water restriction, policies and procedures for how we go about notifying and the stages that you take to do this. So I had actually asked Zach to add this as an agenda item for you all to discuss. So as soon as we found out, we obviously posted it to your district website. It's on the marquee sign currently. And we had initially planned to put a note on your bills because it was a planned repair as of starting 9/21 and ending 10/4. But they reassessed the leak and it ended up being significantly worse. So they put the watering restrictions into play immediately. A couple days ago, I think we woke up to Monday or Sunday. It was when it happened. So this is just for you all to discuss. We have like full plans in other districts, so I don't know if that's something y'all are interested in putting together, but we don't have any sort of policies and procedures for how to handle something like this.
When you sign the wholesale service agreement, you know, you're essentially adopting whoever your wholesale provider is, you're essentially adopting their drought contingency plan. So you're contractually obligated to follow it. I think it would be good practice, though, to do exactly what Ms. McKenzie's talking about.
Okay.
You could
Have something
essentially,
put together, put it in front.
So no sprinklers and no irrigation, right?
yeah, correct. You can only do hose watering currently until, I say until further notice. It's supposed to be until 10/4, but I have a feeling that that repair is going to go longer.
So how are we gonna communicate that?
Okay, well,
It's currently on the marquee sign, it's currently on the district's website, on a blog post, and it will go out in the bills as well.
okay.
Fox 4, saw it on the news.
So there's no
But on the
resolution?
news, too.
You don't have a resolution in this packet, so there's
There's
no...
no resolution. The plan is that you would, I guess,
Okay.
allow staff to develop a drought contingency plan that mirrors City of Cedar Parks, and then you would adopt it next month. Is the plan.
For
that
now,
the
we're
plan?
adopting their plan, right?
Okay.
Their water
As long as
resource.
y'all tell me it is. that's the
Okay,
plan.
that's the plan then,
Done.
okay. So you're gonna put this on next month's agenda?
Yeah, we'll keep it on there. I'll get with him from Mark, and we'll have something for you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
so, 11, committees and Parks Committee, status of Playscape resurfacing in Sunscape.
I already touched on this, but it is complete and it looks great.
Okay, okay.
Are you gonna move the benches that are inside of that?
Yes, that is actually, we discussed that with them. When the new equipment comes in, we will probably call them back out and they'll relocate the benches
And
outside.
do you recall what it costs to move a bench?
As long as it is not cemented into a concrete base, it's maybe a couple $100.
Okay, 11B, Information Management Committee. What did you need?
I'm sorry, I won't
Authorized
speak.
financial.
Yeah, I won't speak for the committee, but this is actually an item that McGinnis put on there. This is
Oh,
just
okay.
Again, this is something we're required to do, but we like to put it in front of the board, so y'all know it's been done, and so there's a record in your minutes. But pursuant to tax code, section 2618, when you update your budget and tax information, you're required to provide that information and a litany of other information on your district website. With a motion from the board, we will coordinate with Mark and make that happen.
Okay. Somebody want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
A motion that the McGinnis Lockridge Law Firm authorize or post or provide the property tax updates to the district website for publishing.
okay. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Beth, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay. Megan? No. Okay, so is this part of the ability so that when you're on the Williamson County CAD and you click on WTCMUD1,
No,
okay.
this is specific to the district's website. I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but that's a different beast of tax
Okay.
oversight, I guess you could say.
Okay, yeah, because there's a hyperlink when you go look at your property.
Right.
And it takes you back to a spot on our website. Okay. Okay. Linda, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Art, do you have any questions?
I do
Okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. 11C, the Security Committee. Do we have any reporting from our roving patrols? Do we have any communication?
I have only gotten a few reports from the road.
No, actually, I was talking about the roving patrols.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
send their reports.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I don't have any on hand. I have a few that I think you sent me, but do you have any additional ones? Can you send them to me and I can drop them in your security
Well,
patrol and
yeah,
drive?
yeah. I'm just curious as to if we're having any
He's
feedback.
getting them.
Okay.
I guess, have you noted anything out of the ordinary?
Okay, that's it. Okay. Hey, man, we are in really good shape.
Have them all back.
Catherine, I do have a question. So this
Oh,
is
I am sorry.
And not in airport mode.
I know, I
airplane
forgot.
mode, Miss
I
Frankie.
forgot. Oh, it was my dad calling me from across the world, too. Damn. Go ahead, Art.
Well, we have the agreement. When did this contract go into effect, the new security contract? Or has it not gone into effect?
It went into effect earlier this year.
June.
Yeah,
April?
June.
June?
June.
Okay. Because I just got on the security committee, so I'm, okay, so
Yeah.
it was effective June?
It was, Yeah, I can get you the exact date we voted on. I think it was at the June meeting, which I think was June 15th.
Okay. So we're down to basically 2 agenda items that I wanted to bring into executive session. But what I'm going to do before I do that is let's verify 13. The next meeting is going to be on the 19th. Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. And was there anything that we all agreed that needed to be on the next agenda? You know, we had drought thing, something to do about sidewalks.
Contracts.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so with that said, what I'd like to do is I want to go into executive session for 8G, Director's Claims of Fraud, take any actions necessary. Okay, so what I need to do is I need everybody to leave. I need to...
Don't you have to read that statement? Or you don't need?
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Linda, you're up.
Agenda item, what's the number?
I have no idea what you're talking to.
12G. It's G, that is.
There's no 12G.
Or, I'm sorry, is it 8G? Let me look.
12.
Just make
It's
sure
8G.
we're all on the same sheet of music.
8G, okay.
Director
Okay.
claims of fraud, take any action necessary.
My bad.
So I just have a statement followed by a motion. The board voted in October of 2021 for Bill Flickinger to examine the invoices and records produced by Sage Management. However, Bill did not perform the assignment prior to being dismissed in February of 2022. Zach Evans cannot do this because of his documented conflict of interest with Sage Management. The solution to resolve this ongoing issue involving their billing practices and residents' rights is to have the records examined by a third party, one who can provide findings that include if the party has failed to perform as promised, if the party makes it impossible for another party to perform, if the party had declared an intent not to perform. I'd like to make a motion, Catherine.
Okay.
The board engaged, my motion is, the board engaged the services of a special counsel with expertise in contract law to review Sage Management's contract and governing documents to determine if obligations have been fulfilled and invoiced in accordance with the terms to create a culture of fair and ethical business practices throughout the community. Can I get a second?
Good. You want to hire a
Special counsel, because Zach can't do it. Has to be a separate attorney. We had voted for Bill Flickinger to do it, a unanimous vote as I recall, and he didn't do it.
He did do it.
I don't
Okay,
have
I'm
the
not
results.
hearing a second, so I'm going to say that this...
Going once, going twice on a second. Motion fails for lack of a second, Madam President.
Okay. Okay, so let's jump down to the end of the agenda. I think that we are adjourned. Somebody make a motion.